All right, guys, just wanted to give you another quick update video, give you some details on some things that are coming up over the next couple of days, and then talk a little bit more about the Eclipse City Community Fund, some details. Also, I'll show you a little bit more on Wise. Wise is pumping right now, up over 20% over the last 24 hours. And yeah, we have quite a bit of it staked for over a year. Not all of our Wise is staked. Not all of our Wise is staked over a year, but I will show you some of the stakes that I have that are 1+ years out, and also talk a little bit about BankrollFlow. BankRX is doing phenomenal, pumped over $1 yesterday, and it's well over $1 currently as you're watching this video. So let's jump right into it, guys. Of course, it goes without saying that anything you do in the crypto space is going to be high risk. So do your own research, do your own due diligence. Guys, if you're not okay with the risk, if you're not okay with potentially losing some or even all of your funds, don't even get into crypto. Don't get into any of these platforms, because like I said, over and over and over and over again, sometimes 2 or 3 times in one video, this is all risky stuff, guys, okay? Anytime you have the opportunity or the potential to make massive gains, understand that it's correlated to high risk, okay? High risk, high reward, no risk, no reward. That's how this thing works. If you're not okay with that, like I said, don't get in. And if you do get in, only put in, guys, I repeat, only put in funds you can afford to lose, guys, risk capital. So that being said, let's jump right into it. Follow me on Telegram, by the way, if you haven't already. I will leave a link for that down below. Moving forward, I will be posting things in Telegram, and I've done this already many times in the past, but definitely moving forward, there's gonna be stuff I post over on Telegram that I don't even make videos on, okay? So if you wanna get up-to-date info, details, things that I'm into, guys, jump into the Telegram. Doesn't cost you a thing, and you can stay plugged into all the updates, okay? So that being said, let's jump right into it, guys. Again, if you are not plugged into the Tron Chain official Telegram, do yourself a favor and plug in there. Andreas is in there. There's a lot of other moderators that are in there. You have a question you can ask, and there's several pinned messages where you can get all the updates, guys. You can stay plugged in. It baffles me how people have funds in a platform, or they're in a platform, and they're not even plugged into the Telegram. They're not even plugged into the social media where they can get information um, up to date, right? So again, do yourself a favor, plug in there. Okay, there's already been a Zoom. There's going to be another Zoom today, I believe. And like I said, there's several pinned messages, and there's moderators in there that you can ask questions to, detailing you on how you can get your refund. Now, it's not going to be immediate. Okay, if you're familiar with Ether Chain, over the last, I believe, I don't know, 3 months. I think it's like 3 months, something like that. 3 months, 3.5 months. They've been issuing refunds for Ether Chain. Okay, now as a matter of fact, they're still ongoing. And over the last 3.5 months or so, they've refunded 5,000 Ethereum to members of Ether Chain that were not in profit. Now, guys, just so you know, nobody's ever done that before, okay? If you look at other staking platforms, like how many of you guys have been with a staking platform or any platform really where there was an exit scam, there was a rug pull, maybe unintentional things happened, and you didn't get any of your funds back? I mean, these guys are actually refunding people when they don't have to. Okay, they don't have to do this, but because they want to build a long-term ecosystem, an actual community, they've already refunded 5,000 Ethereum, and their goal is to issue refunds for Tron Chain for people that weren't at 100% ROI yet, okay? Now, of course, if you were over that, you're not going to get anything, okay? Only if you didn't, hit your 100%, you'll be eligible, right? Your wallet address is going to be eligible to receive refunds. Now, again, it's not going to be immediate. It's going to be built on the new Eclipse City Community Fund and other projects that they develop over on Eclipse City, okay? Because again, it's not going to come out of thin air. It's not going to come out of nowhere. It has to come from somewhere. Just like with Ether Chain, what they were doing is they were taking a portion of the fees from Tron Chain, the admin fees. They were taking a portion of that, and every week they were exchanging that TRX for Ethereum, and then issuing Ethereum refunds. They were doing that every single week. If you go into the EtherChain Facebook page or plug into the Telegram, just ask around. There are, there's people there that have gotten their refund. Of course, there's also going to be people there that haven't got it yet and they're bitching and complaining. But there's going to be people in there that have said, yes, I've received it. So if if you're in there, you'll see that these guys are doing that. Okay, so again, they've refunded 5,000 Ethereum already. They're continuing to do that. They're going to do the same with Tron Chain. The actual process of how they're going to do it, they outlined that over on their recent Zoom. So again, if you're eligible for that, just be patient. Just it'll come once the insurance contract gets funded again from fees from things that they're going to be doing. Namely, one of the contract that they have launching in the next 24 to 48 hours, which is the Eclipse City Community Fund. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of details. I already did this before. I'll give you a couple more details right here. So if you're familiar with it when it launches. And again, if you don't want it's not mandatory for you to jump in to the Eclipse City Community Fund. I want to be very clear with that. You don't want to jump into it, don't jump into it. Like, never jump into something you don't want to jump into. Only if you're comfortable and you have risk of capital at your fingertips, then you can jump into some of these things. But if not, just wait on the sidelines, guys. You're better off just kind of hanging back and just seeing what happens, right? Now, that being said, if you are someone who wants to jump into the Eclipse City Community Fund, or ECF for short, Tron Chain 2.0, whatever you want to call it, it is probably the best move to jump in early, right? Let's be clear. The people who got into Tron Chain, even if you were passive and you never referred a soul, you got in at the beginning, that first month, anywhere from day 1 to day 30, even if you were completely passive, you made your money back. You made your money back, okay? Because it ran for about 5 months. Actually, not about, it ran for exactly 5 months. So even if you got in on day 1 to day 30, you would have made your 100% back passively, and then you would have made profit. Okay, if you got in from day 1 to day 60, which is 2 months, you still would have made your 100%, right? Or 90%, something like that. So you would have been close to 100%, even if you never referred a soul. Now, if you were referring people and building a team, and I know that you probably made more than that. Okay. But yeah, anyone from who got in on the first 2 months of Tron Chain, they made their money back, even if they were purely passive. So what am I saying that for? If you want to get into Eclipse City Community Fund, probably going to be in your best interest to get in on day 1, right? Or not day 1, somewhere close to that, right? So let's jump into some of these quick details. I'm just going to kind of run through them really, really quick. By the way, the EFT farm, the UME farming and EFT farming is still running. On the 13th, the pools that are frozen are going to be unfrozen, and you can claim your EFT. On the 11th, EFT is going to launch. So 2 days before the freeze ends, if you want to buy EFT, which I'm not recommending, I always recommend to farm. If you want to buy it, it will be on Uswap, and you can use TRX. I think the starting price is going to be 400 TRX for 1 EFT. But again, that's going to go up pretty fast from what I understand and from what I'm hearing. So we'll see what happens here, but this thing is still running. All this time we have been staking EFT. So pretty pumped about that. So let's jump right into it, guys. Again, I'll rattle some of this off. This is not written in stone. This is not official from the company, guys, or from the team. So some of this might change a little bit, but this, for the most part, is what it's going to look like. Okay. So number 1, the insurance contract is going to be built in. Okay, it's going to be built in. So once you make a deposit, unlike 1.0 where you had the option to contribute to the insurance fund, this one's going to be built in. All right, there's going to be a portion that's going to go right immediately into the insurance contract. So now you have the main fund and then an insurance fund that's going to be building at the same time. Again, this is going to be built for sustainability, guys. Now, I'm not saying it's risk-free. It's still going to be high risk, But the whole theme, the whole, everything that they've done is so that it'll run long term and for sustainability. Now, will that happen? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Okay. That's why I said this is high risk. Don't get into it if you don't feel comfortable. If you do, only put in what you can afford to lose. But this is, the idea behind everything that I've seen and from what they've mentioned so far. It's going to be 1% per day, 310%. So again, very similar to 1.0. UME farming will be built in right from the beginning. Now the 1% per day is adjustable based on the contract fund. Okay. What does that mean? That means that 1%, it can vary, it can fluctuate, it can go less. I believe it can go more. I think it's going to be capped at a certain amount, but based on the amount that's in the contract fund, just so that it can't get drained right away. If that starts to happen, they'll be able to adjust the daily percentage. So each 20% increase in the balance activates 0.1% increase. Each 10% decrease activates 0.3% decrease. So for example, if the balance reduces 10%, the daily will be adjusted from 1% per day to 0.7% per day. Okay. Now again, just don't hold me to this. Okay. I'm just giving you an idea of how this works. We're going to get more details once they give us an official PDF. We'll give you that. But this is the concept. I'm just giving you the concept. Some of these figures may change, okay, because again, it's not set in stone 100% yet, but you get the idea, right? It'll be that percentage, even though it starts at 1%, it can fluctuate depending on how the fund is actually doing, how it's working. They'll have the ability to make changes accordingly. Multiple accounts will have restrictions. They've mentioned before that one of the things that drained Tronchain was people stacking with, 10 and 12 accounts. What does that mean? That means they had like 10 accounts. First 9 had like 100 TRX, just to kind of keep it going. And then their main account, which was the bottom account, that's what they would make a deposit for. Then all these accounts would be getting matching bonuses. They knew that's called stacking. They have all these accounts, like 10 accounts, just stacked on top of one each other, and none of them were actually funded except for the bottom one, right? Well, there's gonna be restrictions on that because with this new 2.0, there's gonna be qualifications to get matching bonuses. So technically, while you still can have accounts stacked on each other, you're gonna have to qualify each account. So it's harder to do that rather than just building one main account and building that main account and then qualifying that main account to get all the levels of matching bonuses. So for example, there's going to be like a rank A. Again, I don't know if this is the actual official term or official title, but for example, rank A, if you want to receive 1 level of matching, you're going to need to have 3 direct referrals and 5,000 TRX in your first level of volume. So between everyone that's in your first level, there has to be a combined 5,000 TRX deposited into the 2.0 contract in your first level. For rank B, if you want to receive 3 levels of matching, right, 1, 2, 3, it's going to require 6 direct referrals. So you build upon the 3 you already have, you get another 3 for a total of 6, and 3 of those 6 direct referrals have to be rank A. Right. So if you're familiar with network marketing, you've probably seen things like this before. But again, the whole idea here is you're more beneficial to just build a main account, qualify all the levels of matching, than to have, someone that has 10 accounts stacked on top of each other. They're not going to get matching bonuses because they're going to have to match or not match. They're going to have to qualify each account with all these different requirements, right? So whole point here is they want to minimize that and incentivize people to just build one main account. And if they do that, it's going to be more sustainable and long term. It's also going to be a 5% withdrawal fee that stays in the fund. So when you make a withdrawal, 5% actually stays in the fund, and that'll help to continue the sustainability as well. And guys, this 2.0 contract, this Eclipse City Community Fund, it will go live within the next 24 to 48 hours from when I'm making this video. If you're watching this video maybe later, it might be even closer to that, or even it might have already launched. I don't know. So jump into our Telegram, make sure you're up to date, because that's where I'm most likely going to be posting, up-to-date information, links, etc., etc. Okay. So that's what's going on over there. Let's talk a little bit about BankrollFlow. As you can see here, BankrollFlow is doing really, really well. BANKRX, $1.13 currently, up over 17% over the last 24 hours. This was at like 80, 85 cents 48 hours ago. Yesterday it went to 90 cents to $1, went all the way up to about $1.20. It's come back down a little bit to $1.10. Now it's pumping back up $1.13. This is all cool stuff if you're in BankrollFlow, because remember, we exchange our TRX on SwapX. What's it called? SwapX? Yeah, SwapX for BankRX. Okay. So those of you guys who got in when I first started talking about this, it was at like 65 cents, give or take. It's pumping. Like, they've made money just on the gains or just on the increase of the BankRX. Okay. Those people that are receiving that 1% per day, that's even, they're even multiplying that. So yeah, you go here, you go to get BankRX. This is where you would take your TRX and switch it over for BankRX. Okay, once you have your BankRX, you make a deposit into Flow, and within after 24 hours, you start to receive your daily payout until you hit 365%. So yeah, always good to be diversified, guys. That's what's going on with BankrollFlow. Okay, Wise token, real quick. As you can see here, one Wise is now 27 and a quarter cents. Yeah, it was at like a high of 25 when it hit Uniswap, went down to like 19, and then it kind of just bounced up and down. Now it's at like 27 and a quarter cents. And you can see here, it's up over 22% over the last 24 hours. And again, if you look here, you can see all the information you need. Here's all the liquidity, 126 million in liquidity. And for me, I'm just staking this, right, long term. For me, to play with Wise token, at least for me, not for everybody, is to stake it long term and hopefully build a passive income for down the road. Okay, so we'll see how that works out. It may not, I don't know. Again, I can't guarantee anything, but that's where I'm headed with this. And yeah, you can see here, this is one of my wallets I have. I have a couple of stakes here, about 302,000 for over a year. I have another wallet with ladder stakes, and I have another wallet that keeps some Wise liquid. But you can see here, and this is just about $80,000 worth of Wise that I have just in that wallet alone, staked for over a year. My ladder stakes are also staked for over a year. So yeah, that's the play for me, is to stake this for over a year, see what happens. If you want to stake Wise and you want to get a 10% bonus on your shares, I will leave a link down below. Make sure you use a referral link. You can use mine or you can use someone else's, but make sure you use a referral link so you don't leave that 10% bonus shares on the table. And oh, by the way, the price shares will go up probably in the next 10 days, the next 9 or 10 days. Okay, so 14 days from when it launched, the price shares will go up. It launched on New Year's Eve, so do the math. After that, the price shares do go up. So if you are going to stake, probably best to do it before then. Of course, you can still do it after, but why leave that 10%, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. I will do another update video probably later, so stay tuned for that. But just wanted to give you a couple of quick things. Lots of stuff that are happening, guys. And again, do want to emphasize, guys, if you're not okay with risk of any sort, don't get into any of these things, because there is risk involved. I'm very, very clear letting you know that there is risk involved. So do your own research, risk capital only. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Talk to you soon. Peace.